Good afternoon, folks. This is Lee Kersey of Simple, Georgia. Shooting off of my tablet again today. I'm trying to get this thing figured out to where it'd be a good video. I'm still learning this YouTube stuff. I've got to get me a stand. I'm not even going to try to keep that pipe lit. I was hoping I could do this and smoke my pipe while I was talking to y'all. Today I'm smoking my Missouri Meerschaum Legend, and in it I'm smoking some Galveston Hogarth Irish Twist Triple X rope, and it's a little on the more side. I just got it, so it's a little on the more side, and so I've got to sit here and play with it. But I figured I'd try it out. Jesse of Just Piping is all the time talking about the Irish X, and I've got, I don't know, probably 8 to 10 ounces of that, something like that. And I wanted to try this Irish Triple X, so I bought some of that, and I wanted to try it and see how everything goes with it. And yeah, I know I got to replace the bulb in the porch light, but it is what it is. It'll get replaced. I'm fixing to replace the whole thing. The sensor does not work on this one, and I'm not going to fight with it. It's just a cheap replacement. So it's among one of the things that's in the list of books to do here around the house. So I found out this morning that we have a broken pipe in the pipe community. His name is Jeff. He is known as the Ohio Piper, I believe it is, or something to that effect. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. From what I understand, with a little bit of research I did, he'd had a few little problems, and he finally passed away at the age of 45. So let's remember that family in your prayers. Remember Jonathan X1X. He did come on, I think it was yesterday or Friday, and update everybody. He is able to get out and about now, so we still want to keep him in our prayers, and you know, wish him the best, help him get stronger, and things of that nature. And then of course we want to keep Flat Cap Piper in our prayers, and Mr. Jim Steffi of Emerson Southern Forge. He's still recuperating from some medical issues. So yeah, and yesterday I went to a fundraiser for that one of my cousins was putting on for a family, and it just sitting there at the fundraiser, they had a big horse ride and things of that nature. Had a little meal afterwards, and they brought out a bunch of people. But it made me realize, I mean, this girl, and come to find out, she is the daughter-in-law of one of the guys that I knew from the livestock auction. And I did not know that until yesterday. And one of the guys that I know from the DOT, his wife had passed away from the same thing that they're going through. And they had a little auction at the end of the ride, and they raised decent amount of money for the family, but they've still got a long ways to go. It's one of them things that you don't wish it on anybody, but unfortunately, everybody has their time to go, and God knows how everybody's going to go when they're born. So that's just the way life is. But it did make me realize that no matter what, that you need to take life fairly seriously for the most part, and treat others well, love everybody. You don't have to love their actions. The Bible says you do not have to love their actions, but you got to love them. And I'm not here to preach to y'all. I'm not getting into politics, religion, or anything like that. I'm just saying. And the hardest part that I deal with a lot is I am a introverted, heavy, empathetic person. I stay to myself a lot, but I feel for a lot of people, and a lot of the times it's been taken the wrong way, especially when it's acquaintances that I know that are of the female variety. They take it the wrong way, and um, I don't know. But anyway, I feel sorry for people, and I would like to do whatever I can to try to help, but you can only help so much. You can't put yourself in a bind, and that's the thing that I deal with on a consistent basis. I want to do everything I can to help people, but at the same time, you know, I've got to take care of myself as well. So, um, things that I haven't updated y'all on things at work lately, but it looks like it's getting worse. The two people he fired were sort of kind of um, covering. We was covering, the three of us was covering each other from you know, the dad and the third ex-wife and the son and the other guy. But it's getting to the point they were, the other two were fired, and I'm there by myself. And with me being the safety and compliance manager, um, things are not being done right, and I'm really struggling with whether I go back to work or not at that place. I mean, I've got to pay my bills, of course, but the things that they have done in just the past 2 weeks that is illegal and not right. Fortunately for me, I'm taking photos and documenting everything that I'm doing, so you know, I'm covering myself. But yeah, I'm seriously considering not going back to work tomorrow. I may lose my 16 hours or whatever of pay time off, and that's not the worst of it. I've lost money before, but sometimes it's worth losing a little bit and walking away from it than to lose everything. And I've got a lot of responsibility on me here at the house. I've got stuff I've got to do, got to, trying to help mom and dad, got, truck payment and what have you. And I'm not saying I'm in a bind, but I'm in between a rock and a hard place, if you understand what I'm saying. And I really don't know how to handle this without upsetting a bunch of people, because when I leave, they're going to have a bunch of federal investigations going on that is a lot deeper than what they've got now. And I know what you know, what some of that comes out to be because I've been through it before. So, the one company that I have talked to about going to work for them, I found out Friday that they pay on a 1099 driving their truck, a company truck, which is illegal with the IRS. Because if you drive a company truck pulling their freight, running under their dispatch, they tell you where to service the truck, this and that and the other, you are considered an employee. A 1099 is considered a contractor, which means if I put my truck to work, I would be considered a contractor because I've got skin in the game. I can take my truck and do what I want to. I would be considered a contractor. But with driving their truck, according to the IRS rules, I would be considered an employee. And the reason they do that is so they don't have to pay the 7.62% of the taxes. So, according to the IRS, it is illegal. And you could face fines and penalties and possibly some jail time for what they call tax fraud, tax evasion, filing as a wrong, um, ever how you say it, yeah, because the tax law says that if you use somebody else's equipment and they direct you where to go, when to go, whatever, um, you are an employee. And if they basically tell you what to do, you are an employee. So that's what I'm dealing with. And so I've, this company, they're needing drivers, but I don't want to step from one illegal situation to go to another, if you understand what I'm saying. Um, Update on my truck. I did get the part yesterday. Um, and I may show the part at a later date, but I kind of showed y'all in the video that was glitching so bad what was going on. All it was just a little, like I said, I pulled them three prongs out, unplugged it, plugged the new part in, tested it, put it back in, 5 minutes. So I had to stop by the part. So that was what, 10 minutes getting the part, paying for it. And I did it on the way up to the fundraiser ride yesterday. And then I sat there 5 minutes after I got there and put the part in the truck. 5 minutes. So I had maybe 15 minutes and $100 in the part. Whereas the dealership wanted to charge me $170 just to diagnose the trouble. And then they would have charged me another $300 to $400 for the part, and then claiming they had to take the dash apart to put it in, when I know they didn't. And they would have spent the same 5 minutes and charged me $300 to $400 on, along with the part or whatever, along with the diagnostic fee. And I was looking at the service record register or whatever, and for the dealership's recommended 90,000 mile service. Now I understand you got to do certain services to your vehicle, okay? But for the 90,000 mile service, which requires a oil change, I think a tire rotation, maybe some plugs, um, checking differential fluids, checking all your fluids. And of course, they're going to check the tread depth of your tires, maybe check your brake um, thickness. Basically, just the overall inspection. It's not, it's not that big of a deal. Now, like the 150,000 mile service that I got coming up, I'm going to have to change the drive belt, maybe the timing belt, and a couple of tensioners, and of course the oil and all of that stuff. Rotate the tires, da da da. But the 90,000 mile service that the dealership was offering, they was charging over $1,000, and the stuff they're doing, you could do yourself for probably in the $200 range, maybe $300. If you bought the part at a dealer. But if you bought your parts ahead of time, your 90,000 mile service is coming out. You know what oil you need. You know what filters you need. You know what your brake parts you need. If you need brake parts, things of that nature. You know what you need. And tire rotation is nothing but taking them off and swapping them around. I do the crisscross pattern on the tire rotation, but there's nothing to it. But you know the stuff that you need, so you can go ahead and order that ahead of time. Say in the 80,000 mile range. You got 10,000 more miles to go before your 90,000 mile service comes up. So you can go ahead and go online, get all your stuff, pay a third or half the price of what you would at a dealership, or a dealership, should I say. And you get the stuff sent to your house, and you already have it. Then when your 90,000 miles come up, you already have your parts. And that's the way that I tried to learn how to do my stuff. Now, having said that, if like in this situation with my forward drive switch on my truck, I would have ordered a part for it and had it shipped to the house. The problem was I needed it quick. Because what was happening as I was driving the truck, when I'd go to turn, or when I'd go to stop and back up into a parking spot, or make a U-turn if I had to at a construction site or something, it was putting my drive line, with that switch being broke, it was putting my drive line in a bind. Like it was trying to be in forward drive, and something was going to eventually snap. And instead of waiting on the part to come to me for $60, I went ahead and ordered a part from the dealership for $100. So I paid, by the time I paid taxes and everything, shipping charges or whatnot, I might have paid $30 more for the part. But it fixed my problem. But what I'm trying to say is, the point I'm trying to make is, if I could have waited, if there was not a chance and a risk of breaking something in the drive line, like U-joints, pinion gears, axle, whatever. If there was not the chance of breaking something, I would have waited and ordered that part. But because it was something that was broke, and I'll tell you how it got broke. You seen the lights I have on the truck. That truck was used by a electric management co-op, which a lot of you may or may not know what that is. But it's a conglomerate of electrical that runs around and does the electrical service, light poles and transformers and things like that in the rural areas of the state of Georgia. It's basically a subsidiary of the power company, is all they are. And they contract out to the power company to keep the electrical grid up in that rural area. And that's where that truck came from. So when they bought the truck, they had to take the dash apart to put all these lights and stuff in, switches. They had the mounts for the computers. They had the mounts for the phones, things of that nature. And that's when they broke that forward drive part. They never did replace it. When they sold the truck, I'm not saying they broke the switch when they put the stuff in, but when they sold the truck, they took the dash apart to get the stuff out. That's when they broke the switch. And they sold it as is through the auction. My buddy got it, and then I bought it from my buddy. So there was nothing wrong with the truck. It was just when they take this stuff out, they're not as careful taking it out as they are putting it in. So things like that gets broke. And like I said, with that switch being broke, it was putting my drive line in a bind. So, but anyway, I've rambled on for about 21 minutes. I'm gonna let y'all go. Hope y'all have a good Sunday. Hope y'all have a good week. Prayers for Jonathan, Piper X1X. Prayers for Jeff's family. Prayers for Flat Cap Piper. Prayers for Jim Steffi. And we hope y'all have a good week. And we'll catch y'all on the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Hope y'all have a good day. Bye now.